It's a good way to do it, and I think the creative part of this is it also then determines strategy a little bit early on as we take a look. Now, some of the things that we've seen in the patch notes as well is the randomized of these hot zones and these spots where the T4 armor and everything is. I love the fact that they're like, it can literally be so random that all 4 of them land in the same place. Not going to be the case here. So some pretty interesting results here out of the gate as a lot of people deciding to play those contested areas. We saw a little bit of cheekiness actually in our lobbies earlier today where people were waiting to see where 2 contested, and then they would late drop and try to play third party out of the gate. Like, people are starting in a brand new title really to develop into what are the optimal strategies. In a lot of BRs, if you're not familiar, most teams are like, this is our spot, don't fight for it, we have it. And that's going to develop again as the competitive scene starts to build more and more. But an early fight here already. So far, I think you're seeing a lot of standard characters out of the selection pick. You got your Jewel, obviously, that dash and the ability to land those stacks. Although it's slightly nerfed a little bit, it's just too effective not to go with. But a little bit of poke at the beginning, so not a whole lot going down just yet.
Yeah, they're kiting it back here. Actually, we have QDM taking control over the camp, and they managed to take it as well, while Chips is also trying to come in. But nice flank coming out from Luke.
Those shots trying to land on the back end side. Need to be careful, though. They're probably going to get knocked down. Luke going to get dropped early for that first blood. And now trying to fend off a 2v4. Has the respawn on the back. Good Q coming out from the Celeste to try to zone away. But again, having to be careful, and good dodge out of the way from Flappy. Saw the love earlier from JustReliq talking about the main, but deciding to go with Myth this time around.
Yeah, very interesting. I appreciate this pick, and to be fair, playing with Myth today, it feels much more intuitive and easier. Like, the movement that you want to see from SUPERVIVE, it is coming through, and I really like how it feels right now. They have really caught between a rock and a hard place. No, they're going to be taken, or are they? Chips are still managed? No, they're going to be taken, Lawler.
I was about to say, you know, they're both having that facial expression of like, oh my gosh, he's actually going to 1v1 this. There's no possibility. And as eventually the reality checks in and they close it out. So a good start here already for Pumpers. You know, you talked about them trying to do that bounce back, another top 3 team candidate. And again, those early starts are just, they make huge waves in the capabilities of what that snowball effect can be. We saw a lot of that conversation actually earlier today in Europe, where they're talking about that Soul Stone and trying to carry into that level 10. But quite honestly, we never get to see it. We never saw it make it that far because of how high these fights are. We got PF going down against G. Can they find a way to secure it on the back end? Again, Otter's isolated out. Waterblaze with a 1v1. Trying to land one more shot. Should be able to do it. The charge, and again, a little bit of a difference to Myth now, where it feels a bit more intuitive with that charge and release. A little bit more damage on it as well, but that chase down, it's going to be tough to get away. And again, a little bit. One more. That's going to do it. Oct happy to take that, and Otters drops for the count. No execution this time. A little bit of respect shown.
Yeah, but they still take the finish off at the end there, so maybe just half of the respect you would want, but at the end of the day is what you need to do in a competitive game, especially when there's so much at stake. And now PF is going to start out this vault. Plenty of tier 4 armor already is going to help them pretty soon whenever another encounter comes up, as they are in a good position. Lawler, I would say that this is looking like, because we know it's Final Destination, if whenever we could have a look at the map once again, we can try to even identify what are the new paths and what are the strategies that are going to be taken by the team. So here, thank you so much to Observer Mermaid here for bringing the map to our screen. So we were on the top side, if I'm not mistaken, we were at Iron Acres. So it's all going to be coming back more towards Under Rod and Scavenger Bay and Race Row. So whenever we actually see those teams collapsing their close to Vein Grove, finding their way together, that's going to be so much chaos.
Yeah, you're talking about it. You can kind of see that isolated on the very top left of that circle where people are starting to collaborate around. Obviously, focusing around the heart with those constant revives is advantageous, but I do like the way Pumpers is playing. You know, you have the ability to be assertive, I think, very much so in this patch, where, again, all those new items and the touches and stuff, it provides this different element as these two go head-to-head. Overall, Pumpers, though, on the back end, ready to go, trying to land that first initial shot, see if they can isolate one down. Again, the emphasis on one of those damage dealers, and they are going to get one on the back end, makes it pretty tough. And now with the team split, you're hoping for that re-engage for that additional pressure, but they understand that at this point, we've got to count our losses. They're going to back out and live the fight again unless they run into another team on the back end, which, of course, that always seems to be the case in SUPERVIVE. Nothing for free whatsoever.
No, definitely not, Lawler. And we're getting here actually to this tier 4 repair, or now it's called a forge, right? That was introduced to the map in this patch for this playtest. Nobody really interested in getting those on the side of TLD. The last door, they are still on the tier 1 armor. They are still in the circle, so all good here within the ring. They don't really need to be worrying about stuff. But we have just gone into night mode, and that means that soon enough we're going to be seeing those level ups. If we have any fights going on, it could breach that soft cap of the level 4, and we could see the level 5 ultimates coming soon.
Yeah, really big power spike and something to pay attention to. There's some things that are a little bit more intuitive, but as you start to learn and get those timings in, that's going to be the big difference. You know, we still are very early on in watching the scene develop, and I think that's exciting for us to be able to kind of sit and survey how they approach it with the new patches, because again, you're seeing that last minute change. A lot of myth picks now in comparison to what used to be. I mean, this was a character that was probably only top 4, I think, and is really solidifying as a top 2 pick in a lot of these team compositions. So I'm excited to see that already those minute changes are really changing it up, and teams are taking advantage of it. But very passive play, I think, so far. Nobody's really trying to pressure it until they do get that power spike like you mentioned here. So again, just waiting for Water Blaze to hit 5 as well, but everybody else is literally cooking.
Yeah, just bring that vibe. That's just how it goes when you have a little bit of a break. And Lola, I think I appreciate this because we're trying to finally understand, getting into even more show matches every month. What is the meta? What is exactly what works best in SUPERVIVE? Oh, straight into 4 members. That's not what you want, Afro.
Yeah, not where you want to be, and I like the attempt, but if you're able to slip away, we saw a little bit of that with Eden actually earlier today, but this time not going to be able to get out. And again, the 1v4, they're happy to sit on and collect their free loot, but can't come out of it yet. Again, plenty of revive opportunities, whether it be the crown or otherwise. But again, fantastic platforming right in the middle. Anybody who approaches, it's an easy snipe and knock down into that abyss. Something I haven't seen yet. I'm admittedly a sweaty Kingpin man. I love it. And the Abyss hooks being back is like my lifeblood. I haven't seen any yet. I'm still hoping for it. Where's Tom? You know, I haven't seen Tom on the map yet.
Yeah.
So I expect at least 1 or 2 out of him.
Yeah. I've gotta look for good comms and some kick whenever they do appear on the map. But so far we have been keeping a very good sharp eye on Pumpers, and actually XDD as well, getting this biome boss very nicely done just before Pumpers goes in, and that might be a very bad place for you to be, Sinoid.
Still, I like the initiation. Unfortunately, gets punished, and now in a 3v4 on the back end. First shot coming out again. Early heals as that death circle starts to expand. It's going to force the fight whether they want to or not, and the team is split. Pumpers just can no. If they just negate and go north, they would be able to close this one out. Again, it's a 1v4, but it's a beautiful ulti.
Oh, damn!
But is it just a delay of inevitability? And it is. Chipsa just counting those chips as well. Knocks it down, and again, the Wisp is going to be able to rotate back if they can pick it up, but again, good zoning so far. Jackal just trying to see if they can land one touch. Vision played out with the Q. Right mouse button does not drop a stun, so able to mitigate past it. Again, still very aggressive, and this might actually be a catch out. It is a little bit of an overextension for Pumpers. I'm surprised by this.
Yeah, Jack actually played immensely on that strike, just absolutely nailing the snipe shots. And you gotta love to see it because they were being pushed in a very tricky situation. Speaking of tricky.
Yeah, we got BAP coming in, seeing if they can play that third party, something that is patent pending to the BR genre. You hear a little bit of noise and you're like, yeah, let's go and engage. It could be an advantageous situation. So again, having to play into the circle, need to be careful. Not able to heal in those moments, but should be able to mitigate again and play back around the other side. As everybody just kind of checks in with each other. Where are we at? Are we healed up? Are we okay? And I love that play on the bottom right. A recall back to the base camp. Might as well get out of dodge. No need to overdo it. Some people tend to get very tunnel vision. They think, okay, there's a chance here. Maybe we can overextend this and get something for nothing. But no, I think in lobbies like this, you just have to be very meticulous about the way you want to approach.
Absolutely, and while you were speaking, meticulous was the word I was thinking of as well. You got to be very precise, and usually in most competitive games, overextending is just what it is. It's over, it's too much, so usually don't do it. It's not the best course of action. I actually appreciate how all teams are going very, very close to this area in particular. Of course, we have Final Destination, so they know exactly where they need to be for the next ring, yes, but also because there is a revive beacon right there, it was a very high priority contest spot. And Also, speaking of high priority, close there to Scavenger Bay, you have a most wanted that could be picked up. Now going to be at that point by the light green team, because they still have all of their 4 members. But knowing where it is definitely good information.
Yeah, at this point, you're trying to go through, and in the kind of BR genre, it's either you play center, and the difficulty is because experience is such a huge proponent of this game, you can't really do that unless, and we have seen obviously those minions spawn a lot more frequently. So there is that opportunity, but when you're talking about, okay, maybe 2 shifts left, we're going bottom center. You kind of want to plot ahead. You want to be in advance of, okay, these are our moves. If we have these, do we want to rotate north or south? How are we going to approach that? But that all goes out the window as soon as you get into a real life environment of a fight. So again, I think intentions can be there, but until we see it play out, it's going to be difficult. On the top side, obviously a fan favorite in Venomous, one of the best I think I've ever seen. I don't know how one person can harass so heavily and still bob and weave through all the danger in a 1v4 and get away scot-free every time. It blows my mind.
Yeah, and that is the hunter that we know and love Venomous for. It's Shiv. They're definitely one of the best players of this hunter so far in SUPERVIVE, showing themselves so incredibly expert in every single playtest. And they're not different this time around, although there were a couple of nerfs to Shiv. It was more kind of like a more balancement kind of thing. That's going to be a nice encounter though, coming out here.
Yeah, clean encounter so far, and a little bit of poke damage, but again, not afraid to be a little bit closer. Again, the utility on the back end, able to heal up. Celeste's going to put down that Q, both trading it equally. Couple chips though, and absolutely deleted. Somehow that Celeste ult, absolutely perfection on the timing, but now it's going to be a counter. Getting to use that second, again, usually seems to be the case. And a big recommendation is anytime you see a Celeste come in, if you have one of your own, just delay it slightly, as the advantage is going to be in your favor. As they try to retreat, they're going to get stunned for free. But again, that's part of the patch notes, the ability to cancel that as well. Earlier today, to kind of goof, I actually went for the slide and couldn't cancel it and went off the edge and killed myself. So, whoops on that.
Well, it happens sometimes. I think I did exactly that. I just went too ham on the R button and I canceled it. And I was like, wait, damn, that's a thing. I forgot. And actually, Pumpus comes out alive out of this one. Very nicely done. Actually, did they take XDD completely out? I believe they did. This was a very bad place for everybody to be, considering the ring is closing in as we speak. But they still managed to keep themselves afloat, and that's what we expected from Pumpers anyway, Lawler. We talked about a team going out top 2 in EU in a very competitive, intense match, and they are doing just fine this one.
Yeah, 100%. We talked about the northwestern side of the map, and as that tried to come in, how that was going to develop, the point of action that it was going to be. So zero surprise, in my opinion, with it being Pumpers that ends up on top. Again, you've got 3 tier 3 armors, it looks like, and 1 tier 2. So again, sitting pretty, but my goodness, damage on that top right side. You can tell they're trying to be revived and sitting on top of it, but again, it's going to be a little bit too much too late, as somehow it looks like they're going to get away, but spike down and a complete wipe there. Absolutely crucial to land that one over the top, and Lemur just happy to walk away scot-free, as the team for TLD, the last door, the one we've been focused on, looks like they're back and in form.
Yes, they definitely got played so well last month, and they needed to redeem themselves, as what BRAWL mentioned. Maybe this was going to be some more of that fuel to the fire, and that's what's happening right now. Closing out super close. They're in such a good position as well, considering there's a most wanted right there, and they have pretty much good vision, like a central platform, while the other sides are like much more exposed. Yes, you have the rings as well to propel your glider, but with the camp right there, like if you have just vision just enough to be on the border, it's a very good place to be. And as we know, the final destination is exactly there. So all the teams need to converge to this place. And if they are going to brawl it out, it's going to be before they actually get close to the last door.
Well, the difficulty is for the team that is in that center platform, they have to hard engage because they are going to be defending it from multiple angles. Most people are going to try to be siphoning to that point. You can kind of see a preview of it here. Obviously, 3 teams on top of each other. Pumpers trying to play it a little bit more delayed. You've got another team with GC up on the top right, just playing patient, just kind of scouting things out. Again, defensive positioning. You're looking for chonkers, laser beams, whatever you can to defend that point and cut off at least one of the choke angles. Something that's also been added to this patch, where a lot of the pathing has changed. There's a lot more centralized areas that are problematic for teams. So again, who's going to be the first to take that fight? That's kind of what we're waiting to see. Who's going to be the entry frag? who's going to land that initial chip damage. But the difficulty is, do you even commit to it? If you land some initial damage, you want to go for a quick kind of initiation, see if you can get a wipe. You're probably going to get third, maybe even fourth Guardian on this. The only one I don't foresee moving is GC. I think they're going to stay on that platform until they die. They don't have a choice.
Ooh. And speaking of not having a choice, Goats as well just got between a rock and a hard place with the ring coming in, closing in clutch. Sheep as well, trying to find themselves in a good position. But Lawler, the problem is with this patch, so many more terrains forces players to go fast into action.
Yeah, it's going to be problematic, and I love this play on the back-end side. Again, going to just completely disengage from the fight altogether. That platform should be good for a decent amount of time, but now Pumpers, seeing if they can get something landed here. Couple chip shots, and I love this play for the field. Moving up forward and just trying to provide a little bit of zone coverage. Give them some space to work with. Again, you know, the arrow, God, you're a bully. Way to come back on this one again. That vision, absolutely crucial for the decision-making on how they want to rotate as they try to buy their time and wait for this next zone to shift. Hot Biscuit. A little bit of pressure. Not going to land anything too much just yet. But we all know all it takes is one hit from that strike, and it is a different story in these fights. And patient, and oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if they knew GC was there, but Tom and the boys are definitely ready to kick them down on the ground.
Yeah, they are just close to the shop. If they need anything, they're gonna take it ready to go. Oh my god, Goats actually going super deep on the back line, considering they lost 2 members. That is not the course of action I would recommend. They're gonna get spiked immediately, and they're out of the competition.
I mean, it's crazy. Last door's been sitting pretty up there for quite a while, and Ghosts is like, all right, we got to move past these two. Let's go to this other positioning. And you see what happens. Lemur and the rest of the team happy to put that one down. So, again, now this is where that problem comes in. Yes, you may be center. Yes, you have had time, but the rest of these teams only have the wall to their back, and that is something they could play. If they do want to go into the zone and try to play around, again, no healing, but a way to reposition. As you're going to see a lot of Kingpin hooks coming out. Nothing connected on that one. Again, just trying to land that in a Q immediately after to spike down. Again, patient. Just ultimately twiddling their thumbs at this point. No one want to be forced to make a move. No one wants to be the first one to engage. It just opens you up to just so many actions for the other teams. And the one I'm looking for, SHP on the bottom right there. They're going to be forced off that platform. Where are they going to go? They're going to try to sneak through. This could be the plague. It's going to be an amazing clutch play from Tom. Can he get the dunk? Hot Biscuit on the outside. Just trying to delay as much as possible. Does not want to come on up. And somehow might be able to skate away.
Wow.
And that is going to do it. Teldo able to chase it down. It's a great play on the outside. Up to Pump now. Forcing shit back into the middle. That's going to be dangerous. GC happy to take a free kill if they can. As Lex goes flying across the screen and gets plenty of vision. And actually might pay off.
It might. They're just completely out of the zone. And with the last door and good comms here just fighting each other, they might find potentially their most wanted that we mentioned to get that team back on track. But this is such a difficult position to be in. Speaking of Pumpers, there's Blixman right there, gets stunned onto the wall, and that's gonna be them taking out no Pumpers, but they still made it top 3 instead of top 2 this time around. Now the last door, they need to commit to something with good comms. They're also in such a tricky situation.
Yeah, you're seeing Tom Kip taking advantage of that rewind as well. The active ability, still trying to land a hook and then rewind back to the positioning to get a big pull back forward. Again, it's a good way to mitigate any damage taking in, but the initial fight comes down. It could be Lemur able to skate away, and they're going to trade it back in. Avador comes in on the back end. 2 down low. An ability to close this out as they connect with one. Lemur again been clutch all day today. As Avador and the rest happy to just land one more shot. How far can they delay it? And now out in no man's land, nowhere to land. And it's just delaying the inevitable. Unless they can get the bounce off. If they find a way back into this, I'm going to be absolutely amazed. But again, between platforms, they're going to keep inching them out, and there is nothing you can do. Last door makes a statement and returns to glory.